1800s, Samuel Cunard had a dream for a passenger and cargo service. In 1840, the first vessel of his new line, the Britannia, led her way to a quick voyage. For the time. Since then, Cunard Line has branched out with some of the largest, most luxurious liners afloat. Some of the most famous being the now 5 Cunard Queens. One of the most famous queens, running for over 40 years, the Queen Elizabeth II. Since 1969, the Queen has surpassed her time. For nearly 4 decades, this ship has sailed the seas in a lap of luxury and historic remedy, maintaining with her the authenticity of an ocean liner while keeping up with modern technology, of course. Plans for a replacement of the 2 Cunard Queens, Mary and Elizabeth, began long before QE2's name or structure was ever even considered. With 11 known liners in service, Cunard was doing favorably in cruise travel and transportation. But as time would sooner or later grow old for these Art Deco superstructures and competition for newer, faster, and even larger liners were advancing, it was only fitting that work on a replacement would begin long before these landmarks of the sea were to cease service. And September 1959 proved success for a deal involving a new landmark to cut through the vast seas. At 963 feet long and 105 feet wide, the ship houses a capacity of 1,791, give or take, passengers and crew. 13 decks, 10 for guests, tower the piers and landscapes, including her enormous single smokestack carrying Cunard's historic name and nostalgic culture. Though not the largest, she is very big in her size and graceful in her sailing. The sleekness of her superstructure really makes her look smaller than she really is. Her bow based off the Normandy of 1935, and the color of her hull, distinction of portholes, and style of her upper decks keeps the classic style an ocean liner would have. After crossing the gangplank of Pier 92, you are met with the warm, cozy, and circular midship lobby, showcasing the heritage of the Cunard Line. This brings the past back to life in a circle of precedent momentum carried for over a century. Today, the activity centers on board include the standard gymnasium, duty-free shopping, indoor Cunard Royal Spa down on 7 deck, and an outdoor pool on 1 deck. But the library and bookshop on quarterdeck are full of books and trinkets reminding one of the past and past relevance of ocean travel. The Grand Lounge acts as a theater and extends out to the promenade, with curtains to close it as its own room if it is giving a performance. At 2 decks high, the balcony gives a wide spectacle of the room's range. On either side are the duty-free shops, where one may buy clothes and wear QE2 fashion, to be in with the ship crowd. The Queen's room might just remind you of one of the former Cunard Queens. A golden-colored statue of Queen Elizabeth II herself stands proud and looks over the room like a queen should. The ceiling square lights shine beautifully at night, particularly during a formal dance. Forward of upper and quarterdeck is quite a fine staircase, where on the wall walking up, a painting by Edward Halliday of Princess Elizabeth and her husband Prince Philip remind you that you are on not just a normal everyday ship, but a queen. This staircase enters into the crystal bar on upper deck, a pearly turquoise room that extends the whole width of the ship and gives views from either side and the scenery around. Comfortable chairs make you feel relaxed and cozy with your fine wine. After the crystal bar is the main theater, which acts much like the Grand Lounge, but in a more theatrical fashion. Passengers might listen to a pianoforte or a classic ensemble. On the starboard side of upper deck is the Cunard famous Golden Lion pub, which acts as a casual bar with British flavor and hospitality, where one can sit back and have a drink. Now the sports center on the upper decks give a glorious feel to the way one once sailed when on a transatlantic voyage, with the exception of a golf driving range and a basketball court. Tennis, and especially shuffleboard, are enjoyable ocean liner pastimes. The food on board is some of the most incredible. Cunard Line has always been outstanding in their gourmet and cuisine. In the back of quarterdeck is the Lido Buffet, self-serving and open day and night. Also found on the starboard side of quarterdeck is a famous chart room that still has in the main bar the transatlantic route from Southampton to New York and vice versa. The Yacht Club, one deck above and on the aftmost section of the deck, is a very pristine style lounge of elegant clothing and elegant dancing, proving to be a very high-class social hall. The boat deck might make you feel like you're on the original Queen Elizabeth of 1939, for it's got the personality, mood, and feel of an original ocean liner. The sun deck has a little bar right up front on the starboard side, and an absolutely beautiful view of the smokestack above. At 5 p.m. on the 30th of March 2008, the QE2 was delayed for leaving due to the departure of the Vision of the Seas. Not that she was in any hurry, since it gave time to reminisce on all the times the liner spent in San Pedro. As she pulled out, it was only natural to think she would turn around to go forward. However, the tugboat just kept pulling her out from the stern. Yes, the Port of Los Angeles has lost a queen. The QE2 will never see San Pedro or pass by Southern California again, as far as we know. But she leaves us with the memory, an imprint that will always remain where the ship left for the last time in a most comical, though sentimental fashion. But just as our beloved Queen Mary, she will be preserved, though further than desired, for most historic remedy. And though she is gone, we will still have Queen Mary II, Queen Victoria, and other Cunard ocean liners of the future to remind San Pedro they are not without a queen. Sorry.
That's alright, not a problem.
Right, you get a whole voyage, right?
We've got plenty of time.